Hi guys, my name is Fabio from Journey to Success and welcome. The reality is that the moment you spend energy on regret, you have less left to move forward, okay? Less to move forward, to correct your missteps, and reach your goals a little faster. After all, regrets consume a significant, a huge amount of energy. So today we're going to focus on how to use the right energy to understand what you might be missing in your path, all right, instead of living on regret. But before we go forward, as always, please subscribe so I know this is the right direction to lead you guys, to drive you, to guide you towards your journey to success. And let's get started, all right, as always. So I'm going to make some promise here. First of all, we have welcomed our first two guests of this current season. And I want to still invite thoughtful and mindful people who can share unknown lessons and their success stories to us, okay? That's literally fundamental for our personal growth. What do you know, community of Substack, is that I am a podcaster for around 3 years. But from now on, I decided to make my podcasting in a live session, basically, and then I will translate this video live into audio, and that audio is going to be to my podcast. Before was more like the opposite. And this is new. This is my first time that I do it this way, so it's how it goes. Let's see how it goes, and I'm sure it's going to go well. And another thing that I want to say before to start, I initially thought this season would be dedicated entirely to our guest. This is mine sixth season that starts with Substack. And as I mentioned a few episodes ago, in the episodes, my idea was just to invite mindful people, right? However, I'm already missing the solo podcast format. I literally love to do solo podcasting. And I've noticed also that I'm very selective about picking the right guest for Journey to Success. So I believe the core of this season will be mainly solo episodes with only me, but with some mindful guests join us occasionally to share their insights. All right. And I will experiment a little bit as well. So we're doing everything live for now. And hi, team with trauma. How are you? I really hope you're good, guys. And we are already 13 people. So let's see how it goes. And let's go back to our main topic. So how to transform regret into gratitude. First of all, how to transform regret into a teaching lessons and how this shift can lead to a more fulfilling life. First of all, it's not all about regret. It is also literally about everything we go through in life, all right? In Indian philosophy, I studied a little bit of Indian philosophy today for this topic, and especially in the yogic aspect, we have tamas, rajas, and sattva, which describe the qualities of energy moving through a person, okay? Tamas is heavy and obscuring energy. It creates inertia, confusion, and attachment to the past. So when regret sits in tamas, it becomes introspection, study, self-judgment, okay? So energy is trapped, basically. Nothing changed. We spiral in the situation. And just an example, you may be writing an article for your Substack, for example, and maybe this article has received a lot of criticism, okay? You may not know how to escape this cycle of negativity. That's tamas. Then we have rajas. Rajas is an active but unstable energy, okay? It drives urgency, ambition, emotional reaction. When regret shifts into rajas, it becomes overcompensation. So hustling is unnecessary, because we have this erratic energy, restless behavior. So movement happens, but clarity is missing. So energy is consumed quickly. Okay. For example, in my case, like to make personal example, right now I'm in the Raja stage. So I'm hustling a lot and try to understand the best ways to bring traffic to Substack and to my podcast, Journey to Success. So I go through a lot of trial and error right now. Okay, I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. My days are spent trying to quickly understand my failures so I can move forward. And I focus on reducing the gap basically between my mistakes and aim to reach my goals more efficiently and faster. Okay, that's what I do. But of course, the evening I'm exhausted. Okay. And I think the important thing is to be aware of this stage. A lot of people are not aware of this stage. It's important to be aware of this stage and acknowledge that it has not to last forever. It cannot actually. It cannot. We are still human beings, right? We're not robots. And in this situation, it is crucial to avoid falling into a state of regret. Okay, when you go through many trial and errors as I do right now, it is essential to find yourself regretting past decisions. All right. However, staying on regrets can drain your energy. So we need to be careful about that and move forward. That's the full point. Then we have sattva. Sattva is clear energy, clear, balanced energy. It brings awareness, wisdom, calm. Where regret is processed through sattva, it turns into insight. All right, it's not even regret anymore; it's just reflection. And the mistake that you did is acknowledged without indications. There is not a real uh, thoughtful pressure, to understand your regrets because everything is calm. You already acknowledge your mistake. You regret it enough, and that's it. Okay, so the lesson is integrated. So energy is no longer lost. It's not moving around. It just becomes directional. It is steady. All right. So growth happens when regret, guys, moves from tamas or rajas, if you're not careful, into sattva, because clarity restores usable energy instead of drain it. Okay. Now, returning to this side of our world, we did a little bit of yogic culture. So it is important to understand this concept because when the energy you use becomes violent, all right, becomes violent and not harmonious. The case of regret or so many negative or impactful cases, anyway, it's not all about regret. It can be a fight, it can be grief. Basically, you cannot harness that energy to achieve your goals or to correct your missteps. All right, that's the full point. So when people struggle to manage negative events or situations, guys, they cannot redirect their energy toward personal growth and happiness. But the question is, what are the common struggles in this case? So the common struggles that literally prevent us to reach our goal because of negative events and especially regret in this case is negative self-talk. Negative self-talk, so regret can lead to harsh self-criticism, okay, making individuals feel inferior or unworthy, which can slow their progress. The second one is the fear of failure. As always, people may avoid pursuing new opportunities or taking risks because of past mistakes, guys, leading to a sort of stagnation and missed chance for growth. Number three is inability to forgive themselves, okay? Holding on to past regrets can prevent individuals from moving forward, okay? As they may stay on their choices instead of letting go. So they just overthink. We overthink when we regret so much, okay? So the energy stay here, we don't move forward. And number four, overthinking. That's, of course, it's a consequence. All right. So constantly replaying past actions in your brain in a more obsessive way can consume mental energy, causing anxiety and preventing focus on the present. All right. Number five, we have the isolation. So regret can lead to shrinking from relationships or social situations with feelings of loneliness and frustrating emotional support. Number six, we have a lack of clarity. Of course, if you regret so much, everything is cloudy, So regret can cloud judgment and make it difficult to identify what truly makes you happy. Okay, complicating decision making moving forward. And then number seven is comparison, of course, comparison to others. Regret unfortunately, may arise from comparing oneself to others, to other people, resulting in reduced self-esteem, which can slow growth. So these are seven situations where, unfortunately, they can prevent you to reach your goal because somehow you are regretting something. But the good news is that addressing these strangles, once you acknowledge them, what happened? It involves, sorry, it involves self-reflection, seeking support and focusing on the present future rather than living on the past. All right. So you just think how to acknowledge better your struggles, so you know that somehow you need to move forward. So once you acknowledge all these struggles, it is important to shift these events into lessons, as a powerful way to turn past experiences into growth opportunities. Okay, I'm going to repeat again. So once you acknowledge all these struggles, all these situations that make you feel really, really, really bad, it's important to shift all the events into different lessons, positive lessons, as a powerful way to turn past experiences into growth opportunities. Very important. So what are the effective strategies to achieve this? First strategy is acknowledge your regret. Of course, that's the first point. You need to start openly acknowledging your regrets instead of suppressing them. Okay. This could mean, writing them down. The writing technique is always helpful to make a great reflection and to acknowledge your regrets, or discussing them with someone you trust. All right. So by confronting your feelings, because that's what we're talking about at the end, you begin the process of understanding and learning from them. Number two, understand the importance of your story. All right. Any of us regretted something. Okay. I also regret different things. uh, I once regretted not pursuing a specific career path. You know what I mean? Everyone has these things, but circumstances led me in a different direction, one that I now love. My podcast, my personal growth path, knowing that somehow I'm helping someone here. So it is essential for you guys to understand how your own stories shape who you are and the paths you take at the end. Okay. Number three, identify the lessons. Reflect on what you could learn from each regret. Okay. Ask yourself questions like, what did I learn from this experience? Or how has this shaped who I am today? There is always something that happened in our past and eventually we regret it, right? But somehow indirectly and consciously shaped us to a different form, a different version of ourselves. So this can provide valuable insights. So all these questions can provide valuable insights. All right. Nelson Mandela used to say, I never lose, I either win or learn. And this mindset is beautiful, So emphasize that even our regrets can be powerful teachers, okay? Number 4, shifts your perspective. Reframe your mindset by viewing regrets as necessary steps in your journey, okay? So instead of seeing them as failures, consider them as experiences that are fundamental to your personal growth. You can also see them as failures. So there is no problem to see things as missteps. Actually, that's another story. But acknowledging your missteps make you reach your goal faster. Okay, but we're going to cover another day. But the point is, consider all of them as experiences that are fundamental to your personal growth. Okay, very, very important. Number 5, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself regarding what you did, regarding past decisions. Understand that everyone makes mistakes, guys, and that self-compassion can help turn regrets into lessons rather than barriers. Okay. Number 6, create an action plan. So once you have identified the lessons, think about how you can apply them moving forward. All right. So make a line, a specific steps to reach certain lessons learned from your regrets. And number 7, share your experiences, of course, with people you trust. So discussing your regrets and the lesson learned with people, the people you trust, can provide both clarity and healing. Sharing can also inspire others to see their own regrets differently, guys. Okay, remember that. And here I have another quote from Ofra. She say, "Turn your wounds into wisdom." Also very beautiful. Sharing your story can not only help you, heal, but also empower those around you, inspire the people around you. Okay. So remember that. Number 8, I think is the last one, embrace growth. Lastly, recognize that regret can play a role in your continuous growth. Okay. So instead of getting stuck in the past, that's what we want to avoid. Focus on how you can use your past experiences to make better choices in the future. So by employing all these strategies, we can transform regrets into valuable lessons that enhance our lives and contribute to our personal narrative, our personal story, our personal growth. And remember, it's not just about what happened anyway, but how we choose to respond and learn from it, moving forward over and over again. Okay. Everyone regrets something in life, guys. That's the truth. And I certainly have as well. Even now, if I think about it, if I think about an episode that I may hurt someone emotionally close to me, during a fight. And the truth is that, yeah, we're human beings. We can truly regret and feel sad about any bad choices we make. Everyone can relate to that. Anyone can be good at it. But the important question is, what can I do with this? How can I make things better? So it is essential to reflect on what we can learn from our past actions or the lack of actions when it's about regret in order to move forward in a direction that makes us proud, that it makes us a second version of ourselves. So to do this, we need to shift our energy towards the more positive aspects of our story, guys, okay? Permitting us to build a better narrative, a better story, and become a better version of ourselves. Now, before we wrap up, this is first of all, again, for all the people that came now, this is my first episode podcast in live. All right. So the 6th season started with this new formula. Let's see if I'm going to continue this or not. So it depends. But let's see if we have some question before we wrap up. No, just people listen, okay? Just I'm very, very grateful you are here, guys. And yes, the Time with Trauma, hello. I think Yes, I greetings you before. And well, I want to hear from you in the comment then. What regret taught you the most about yourself? Okay, what lesson changed the way you direct your energy today? Send me a message, share your story, connect with me on Substack, send me a DM, everything. I read everything, and I genuinely love to hear your perspective. Just a small note, the reason why I decided to jump on Substack. So basically, Journey to Success is my podcast, is my core. But I miss a little bit the feeling to feel the community. So don't be afraid. Talk to me, send me a message, write some comment. I will hear everything. I will read as you deserve. So if this episode resonated with you guys, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you know someone who is stuck in regret or carrying the weight of past choices, share this episode with them. It might be precisely what they need right now. Thank you so much for being here on Journey to Success. Remember, growth begins when we choose clarity over guilt. Okay, I'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.